Okay, we're going to solve for empirical formulas. That is a formula that gives the simplest whole number ratio of atoms in a compound. All right, here's our little cheat sheet of how we're going to do that. Okay, first one says percent to grams. All right, and this is supposed to be 10.2. It's really hard. You take the percent sign off and add a gram sign. So that's all we need to do. So I'm going to put, it says, what's the empirical formula for a compound which contains 10.2 grams of carbon? So I'm going to write 10.2 grams, or not percent of carbon instead of percent. I'm just going to add a gram sign. And make sure you put the element you're working with, because the next step is we're going to change grams to moles. Okay, then we've got 0.85%. We're going to change that to grams of what? Hydrogen. And then we've got 89.3%. That's 89, not 83. 89.3%, which will become grams of chlorine. And again, set up your train tracks to convert grams to moles. All right, so you'll need your periodic table, because what do we need to convert grams to moles? It's always 1 mole over my molar mass. So what's my mass of carbon, or on carbon, is 12. So 12 grams of carbon. Hydrogen is 1. So I've got 1 mole over 1 gram of hydrogen. And of course this is 1 mole of carbon, 1 mole of hydrogen. I forgot that. Okay, and then we've got 89.3 grams of chlorine, and that's 35 grams of chlorine over 1 mole. 1 mole of chlorine over 35 grams of chlorine. Okay, now we're ready to do our math. So let's get our calculator. All right, so we're going to do, basically what we end up doing is we're dividing these two numbers, right? Because it's 10.2 times 1 divided by 12. So basically it's 10.2 divided by 12. Control Enter. What do we get? 0.85. So this equals 0.85 what? Grams of carbon. Answer. So I've got moles of carbon, remember. Keep up with what you got. And then here, of course, these are 1, so they'll cancel out. So this will be 0.85 moles of hydrogen. And then on this one, we got 89.3 divided by 35. And I get 255. Let's go out 2 decimal places. Do not round off to whole numbers, or you will get all these wrong. Okay, at least 2 decimal places. Okay, and what do we got here? Moles of chlorine. Okay, the last step says we're going to divide by the smallest. So out of our 3 answers, and it doesn't matter if I have 3, 2, 10, I find the smallest out of all my numbers. Well, these are the same, so I'm going to end up dividing all of these answers by 0.85. Okay, so obviously when I divide these two, I get what? 1. Again, I get 1. So on this one, we're going to have to use our calculator. So we get 2.55 divided by 0.85. What I get? I get 3. Okay, 3. So that isn't my final answer, though. This is telling me, because I'm looking for a chemical formula, that my formula has 1 carbon, 1 hydrogen, and I don't express ones in my formula, remember, and then I've got how many chlorine? 3. So there is my answer, CHCl3. All right, these are all the same way. Follow the little cheat sheet. On the back as well, there's a couple there. I'm going to practice doing those. All right, same exact thing, just follow it along. Let me know if you have any questions.